I mean,
Wichita State, great win last night. You know, when you're talking about Wichita State, you're talking about teams won unbelievable run that they've had. 9 straight years with 25+ wins. Obviously a basketball school with great basketball fan base, great coach. What I see is they got a bunch of new guys playing around. Samaje, who I know from JUCO, and Marcus McDuffie. They're 2 returning guys, and they're scrapping with everything they got. They're rotating, playing 11 guys around those 2, and I saw a team. When I watch them, I see their competitive spirit is impressive. For a bunch of guys are just thrown together last spring, they've become a team. So not a surprise with Greg Marshall coaching. I mean, they may not, they may have some games where they've struggled to make shots or whatever, but they don't struggle to play with heart. They don't struggle to play hard. And they got obviously they got great fan support, great home crowd. So.
I'm going to say the fans don't seem to care that they're 500.
No, like I said, they don't have the Reds or the Bengals. Wichita's got Wichita. They got the Shockers. They got great support, and it's really impressive because it's what it should be everywhere. That when they don't just come out when their team's great. Like they're out there this year trying to help their program, their fans, help them win games and get through a year where they're in a rebuilding mode to reestablish who they are. And you can just see it watching them, not just last night, but obviously I'm watching all their games. You can just see, it's like their fans feel like they're a part of that team and they're going to help them. They're not going to desert them through rebuilding, they're going to help them. So it's impressive.
Was the game last night a good last reminder for this team going into that?
I don't know, man. If we need any reminders by now that every game's going to be a war, we got problems. But obviously, when you're in my position and the team beats the Central Florida, who's picked to win the league, can't hurt to get your players. I'll take whatever I can get as far as like getting guys to pay attention. But they had, they're up 11 on Temple with 2 or 3 minutes to play at home as well. So all you got to do is flash their winning percentage over the last 5 or 7 years. It's unbelievable at home. So yeah, we'll take it.
You've got, I think, 5 teams in the league with 1 loss now. Is that an indication of how deep this league is compared to other years?
I think, we have a tremendous basketball conference. When we added Wichita State, there's great coaching in our league. There's excellent coaching, top to bottom in this conference. So, and I think that you also see, what's this, 5th or 6th year in our league? 6 years. So what you see is teams making more of a commitment that came from the Conference USA. You add Wichita State and some of those other teams are trying to catch up, and they're starting to support their basketball programs at the level that us that came from the Big East did. And you're starting to see it manifest itself in their programs. So, I mean, Tulane's struggled. They lost their point guard. He hasn't played all year. But other than that.
Does it feel like more of a league, like you're familiar with the schools because you're playing now, more than just a bunch of schools thrown together?
Yeah, I think more so every year. I think that would be fair to say. Probably for the players too, I would think. But, because there was a time where you're coaching early on in the league, you had kids that played in the Big East, you got kids that played in Conference USA. Now all the players in our league have only played in our league. So, but I just think that there's just excellent coaching in our league. There really is excellent coaching, and that the commitment level, I think, of athletic departments has elevated in basketball. Whether it's budget, scheduling, facilities, it's only gotten better. every year. It's very, I know things obviously behind the scenes, so it's noticeable. Scheduling would be a big one. So some of our other teams don't have to play a lot. They get to play home games instead of playing home and homes. Like there was a time you'd play South Florida and you'd look and they had played 4 mid-majors on the road in December. Like, how are you supposed to build your program?
Oh,
they don't, yeah.
Get more home games for some of those programs.
Yeah, that's budgetary, that's commitment from your athletic department, your school, and that's how you build your program. Aside from going out and hiring a Brian Gregory and paying him to have Tom Harrion on his staff, like those are just small things that don't go unnoticed, but those are the reasons why they have their record.
In watching all of Wichita State's games, are you surprised by the fact that they're 8-8, or is that right about where they should be in your opinion?
Yeah, to be honest, I didn't know they were 8-8 until you just told me. I just look at the film and their statistical numbers, what they're good at. You know, they played a hard schedule, so I think that would factor into that. So, you know, I don't know if I really have any comment on their record as far as I would say. They close out the Temple game, they're 2-2 in the league, and they led Houston for 30 minutes on the road. It says a lot to me. And they just, they lost the 2 best shooters in the league at the wrong time, and they still only lost by 7. So it was an unbelievably impressive feat the way they played at Houston. So I think they've grown as a team. So I would throw out who Wichita State was in November and December. I'm looking at who they are in league play. I think they're 1-3, and they could be 3-1. It's fair to say. I mean, they're close to being 3-1.
How concerned are you about defense after the last 4 games?
Extremely. You know me. You know, defense isn't just playing hard, it's playing smart. And it's being experienced enough to be able to it's 2 things, discipline and experience. So young guys don't have sometimes the defensive discipline. And they also, guys that without experience, don't have the defensive toughness to finish a play or the discipline to not foul. So we're not quite as smart as we were last year defensively. And that's just because we have guys that playing a lot of minutes that didn't play a lot of minutes last year. So it's our job as a coaching staff to you got to keep pounding nails. You want to build a house, you sit around and drink coffee, tell stories, you got to keep pounding nails. It's the only way you make progress. Show film, coach, teach. That's all part of it. So it's just a lack of experience on the defensive end.
Is that the reason the 3-point other teams are shooting so well for 3-point?
I would say just in general. I mean, in our last 4 games, our points per game, everything isn't what we've been used to the last few years.
Does the 3-point field goal percentage by other teams concern you the most? Or?
Yes and no. I think, you know, like I said before, some of that's ebb and flow. You know, teams get hot. It's the same thing for your own team. You know, like Keith Williams started the year off 1 for 15. I knew he wasn't going to last that way. You know, if a guy's a 30-something% shooter, he's going to end up there. Water finds its level with that. Second part of that is some of that is we put a premium on not giving up layups. Teams have to take a lot of late clock shots from behind the line against our defense, and they've made them. And some of that is a style. We've played some teams lately with Tulsa, UConn, 4-guard offenses, 4 shooters. It's harder to defend the 3-point line and the paint against those type of teams.
Have you heard anything from the conference since your comments on Tuesday night?
What do you mean, heard anything?
Regarding your comments about the officiating?
Yeah, I'm not interested in any of that stuff. I let it all speak for itself. Defensively, we got enough problems right now.
Nas, you've talked a lot about his development. How do you feel he's progressed maybe in stages this season through non-conference play?
He's learning same things I've been saying about everybody else right now. Learning to play hard, learning to play smart. You know, he's got to run the floor better. It's all process.
Is his offense a bonus, or is that something you felt like you would need this season?
Like I said, I tried to tell people, and I get mocked on November 7th. What we talk about our defense. How many points we averaging in the league play? 80, 82, something. I told you offense wasn't going to be our problem.
So you saw that coming from
November 7th, I told you. Nobody wanted to listen to me.
When was it again?
I tell you, so bad I said October 1st. November 7th.
Okay.
I tried to tell everybody November 7th, but people that come to one game and don't even watch our games, they have all the answers. Why would I know anything? You know, I said it. I mean, you know, it's hard. You know, another part of defense we can talk about is for Nas, okay, erasing mistakes. Trey, Nas, Ellie. You know, any great defense erases mistakes, meaning you have some guys at the rim that'll save you. You know, usually got one or two guys that never need help because they never get beat on the perimeter, and you have a couple of guys that can erase mistakes at the rim. Well, last year we had three. Like people say, Jacob was a great shot blocker for a guard. And he said, Gary's Defensive Player of the Year. Well, I got news for you. Kyle Washington led us in block shots. So, you know, I was so really pleased to see Ellie and Trey blocking shots. Nas, that's what we need. We need some, you know, then we can be more aggressive at the three-point line. If we know some guys are going to be in there rotating, erasing some mistakes. So it's just a process. You know, when you sat on, there's a difference between playing 10 minutes that are not in the crucial moments of a game and playing 27 minutes. But Nas his development has been good. You know, I would have no complaints. But it's just got to keep.
They played their 7-footer last night. He hasn't played a whole lot, but he played last night against the Ball. You expect to see him?
I expect him to play 11 guys. I think what he's going to do, Coach Marshall's going to do, is play, like I said, he's going to play Samaje and Marcus. And the other 9, he's going to rotate them and go with whoever's getting the job done. That's what he's done all year with those guys. And they know they got to play extremely hard. They don't worry about being aggressive defensively. And he goes with the hot hand or whoever's getting the job done. That's what I think he'll do. All right, guys.